I'm in the reloading room, and after a long wait, my shot marker has finally arrived. I think I had to wait maybe 6 or 7 months from the time I ordered this to receiving it, but I think the wait will be worth it. If you don't know, the shot marker is an electronic target system that is used at a lot of matches. I shoot F-class, FTR, as I've mentioned in my other videos. The shot marker is commonly used in club matches and many of the club matches that I shoot, and it's a very good system. I think there's another one, White Mountain. I've never shot on a match with a White Mountain electronic targets, but I do know that the shot marker is very good. Adam McDonald makes these. He's the same as the he makes as well. He makes the Auto Trickler, which I have another video on. So I thought I'd make a video of the shot marker as I set it up. I'm going to build a target, and then ultimately I'll shoot at the target. So I'll try to video some of those things as well. So this video will be shot over 2 or 3 days, maybe more, but I'll splice it all together, so it'll all show up in this video. As with all of my videos, I like to make videos to document what I'm doing currently, so in the future I can look back at what I did in the past. Future me can look back in the past and look what I was doing. And I also would like to, I also share these videos here on YouTube for entertainment purposes, in case somebody enjoys, might enjoy as well what I'm documenting here. So I've begun to unpack the shot marker, what's to come, along with so this is a sensor hub. This is at the target, so it'll be downrange with the target, and it is, I guess it collects all the information and then sends it to the access point, and this will be behind you while you're shooting, or around where you're shooting from it, from your shooting position. So this collects all of the information, and then you use an iPad or an iPhone or a tablet, I guess, to then look at and then you can see your target on the iPad. It's a very good system. Used it many times. I've helped set these up many times as well. I've never built a target for them, and so this is all kind of new to me. Along with the shot marker, you get a couple of calibration targets. I've made some photocopies of these because I don't want to shoot the originals. I want to keep these. I don't know why, probably just to keep them. Comes with a manual. There are 4 sensors. These are the, I guess, the mounting plates. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but there are 4 of them, and they go on all 4 corners of the targets. And then these are the sensors themselves. So these are mounted to the target. The sensor just, it's magnetically held in place. And then there are cords that connect all 4 sensors from all 4 corners of the target to the sensor hub. These are all color-coded, so it's a very great, it's a very easy-to-use system. Everything is color-coded. So the green wire, the green sensor goes into the green mount or the green holder or whatever it's called, and then the wire comes out of the green sensor into the green plug-in on the sensor hub. So along with those things, there's some couplers. I'm not sure what those use, so I guess to lengthen the wires. And along with the wires connect from the sensor to the sensor hub, and there are 6 of these of differing lengths, because you have differing lengths. There's one really close to the target. I believe it's the bottom left. So the orange, the orange one here at the bottom left is closest to the target. Top left will be closer to the bottom right, probably be the same, depending on how your target is. And then the top right is the farthest away. So you would need the longest cord for that. 6 cords. There's a couple of charging cords, so you can, the sensor hub and the access point are both battery operated. The batteries are included here, and rechargeable batteries. So you can charge these up, and it looks like there are two charging cords, so you can charge both the sensor hub and the access point at the same time. The antenna, so this is an antenna that stays downrange with the sensor hub, plugs in here, and there's an extension. Here's the antenna itself. So the extension is good because you can get the sensor hub as far away from the target as you can. That way it doesn't get shot. So you have plenty of room here. And then even included are the screws that would mount the whatever these are to the target frame. So that's all we've got here. Let's go out into the garage and get started building the frame. So I'm out in the garage now, and my plan is I've got some 1x3s, 4 of them. They're all 6 feet 1x3s. And 2 of them I'm going to use for the width of the frame. So I'm going to use these 4 to build the frame. The frame is going to be 6 feet tall and 42 inches wide. So I'm going to cut the 2 6 feet, two of the 1x3s down to 42 inches, and I'm going to true these. These are a little bit more than 6 feet, these 2 with the clamps on them. First thing I'm going to do is true those so they're exactly the same height. So that's why I've got them clamped up. I've got the end down there. Let's see, I've got the end down there matched up. So they're flush, perfectly flush with each other. And then there's a little bit of an overhang here. So I'm going to chop off with the chop saw, about 1/4 inch on this side. So that way I'll have 2 6 feet exactly the same. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to clamp up the other 2 and cut those 42 inches. So it'll be a nominal 6 feet and a nominal 42 inches, but the point is that the corners are going to be square, and the boards are going to be exactly the same length. That way I shouldn't have too much trouble squaring it up. With the shot marker, you want to have your target as square as you can. Doesn't matter if it's a rectangle or a square. The further apart evidently is better, but so I've got some L squares, and I'll use these to test, and then I'll also measure from corner to corner just to make sure that the dimensions are the same when I set the base plates for the little square color-coded base plates for the shot marker. So for the 42-inch boards, I'm just going to cut off these ends to make them nice and square, and I've got the board clamped together, the 2 boards clamped together, so I'm just going to square off one end because I've got a little bit of extra board to work with. On the others, I wanted to use as much of the 6 feet as I could. So I'll square these off first. I'll measure it out to 42 inches, and then I'll make that cut. So this is a 1x2 that I'm going to use for the top and bottom to actually attach the targets to on the frame. I'm not going to be using a 6-foot target. I'm going to use a 35-inch target. So these are going to be these are going to be 42 inches as well, and I will be able to attach the targets to this board. I am going to, this is an 8-foot piece of 1x2. I'm going to cut it in half to 48 inches and then clamp the 2 together and cut those down to 42 inches so they'll fit across my target board. Now I'm going to get the corners screwed in. I'm using 1 1/4 drywall screws. That way I don't have to, I think they're going to be perfect length, and I don't have to pre-drill for these. So what I want to do is get 2 in each one, or 2 in the first one, make sure it's perfectly square. So I've got it lined up. And then I'm going to come in just a little bit and then make sure I've got this good and square now. Let's see, so the square would be, get that. That one's good and square there. And then I want to make sure that is square. Yep, okay. So, sitting nice and square. The ultimate test will be if the diagonals are the same, but if these are both trued ends, so it should be, there we go. All right, got the first two in. This is a good square corner, and everything will be based on this corner from on the other three corners. So I'm just gonna slide this over, put one on the other side, make sure it's square, and then put the two bottom ones in. I've got all four corners together, and that is my target frame. It's 6 feet by 42. I measured the verticals, the horizontal, the diagonal, and they're both 83.5. The cardboard backing now has been installed for the target, and the next step will be to paste over the F-class target on top of the cardboard backing. How I attached the cardboard backing was just some little screws. The two 1x2s that I, 42-inch 1x2s that I cut, I put one on here on the bottom, the other one up there on the top, and just lap them, same as I did the others. Then I put a couple of spacers. This cardboard would have just been flapping around in the wind, I think, so I just put a couple of spacers there so I could put a couple more anchor points. I just had this cardboard laying around. You can see it was a cardboard box that I sort of spliced together, taped it up, but it'll do for just to get started. I'm going to, it's the weekend, and I'm gonna, during the week, I'm going to stop and get some Coroplast and have one continuous sheet. Coroplast is what is recommended in the manual, in the shot marker manual. So that's what I'm going to use, but cardboard will do fine for now. I'm going to also, let's see if you can pick it up on camera. I've drawn a line there for each of the diagonals, so the X in the middle, that's going to be the center of the target. So that's just the target frame where you can see the cardboard. I mean the target frame, not the shot marker frame. All right, so the next step is to install the shot marker base, or the bases, these things in each of the corners. They are color coded, so I need to make sure I get them in the correct locations. I've got all four of the sensor brackets installed, and how I did it was I started with the bottom left, and I just used this is not the drill bit that I used, but I used a little bit larger drill bit as a spacer down on the bottom, and then butted this up against the spacer, this bracket up against the spacer, and then flush with the edge. And then I marked each of the four screw holes, moved the sensor, pre-drilled with a smaller drill bit, pre-drilled each of the four holes, and then installed the bottom left first. Then I went up to the top and did the same thing, used the drill bit spacer here, and then flush with the left edge, and then marked the location, pre-drilled them, and then installed this one. Then I went back and measured and from the top edge of the red sensor to the top edge of this, which gives me center to center, and that was 64 7/16 inches. Then I went up to the top and installed the blue in the same manner, and then came down to the green.
and set this one in place, and it was a little bit too, with the spacer, the distance was too short by a 1/16 of an inch. So I just removed the spacer, pushed this down a 1/16 of an inch so that I had that same 64 and 7/16 measurement. Then I measured from the left edge here to the left edge here. And I'm sorry, I didn't do that. I did it up there. I measured from the left edge over there to the left edge there, and that was 39 3/8 inches. Came here and wrote that down. And then I measured from the left edge there to the left edge here, and it turned out that if I set this flush, that was exactly 39 5/8 inches. So now I've got the tops and bottoms are 38 5/8 inches center to center, and the bottoms and top brackets are 64 7/16 inches center to center. So they're perfectly square. And then I made the calculation that I will need to set up the shot marker. 64 and 7/16, 0.4375 is 7/16. And then times 25.4, which is the inch to millimeter conversion. There's 25.4 millimeters in an inch. And that's the length. That's from the top to bottom is 1,637 millimeters. Made the same calculation over here on the width. And I'll see if I can get that to come in on camera. There, it's a little bit better. All right, so that's 39 5/8. 5/8 is 6.625, so 39.625 times 25.4 is 1,006 millimeters. I'm not sure if that comes out on camera or not. 1,006 millimeters. I also put in the calibration target, or I centered up the calibration target so I can take it out to the range and get it calibrated. I'm not sure if I'll be spinning my wheels, but at least I'll be able to shoot it and test it for the first time. But I'm going to replace this with Coroplast, and then put the F-class target over and then put the paste the F-class target on the Coroplast. So that will probably be, I may end up with a different center slightly. I will center up that F-class target by measuring half the distance from the top to the bottom, and then half the distance from side to side. And then there's a marks on the target that you line up. So I don't know if it's going to come out to that center. It should, but I'll see if it does. Next step is to take it out to the range and test it out. Alrighty, so I'm back from the range. This is later on in the day. This morning was when I put the cardboard on, and instead of the so originally I built this with the 1/4 inch plywood, but that wasn't a good idea. Then I decided to go with Coroplast. I don't have any Coroplast, and I will pick some up during the week, but right now I'm just using this cardboard. I took the shot marker out to the range and used the got it calibrated, and those are the first 3 shots. Those shots are on the shots number 1, 2, and 3 are 1, 2, and 3. So I just had a 200-yard target set up, selected, rather, and but I was actually shooting at the shot marker target on the calibration target, and I also had the calibration target up on the screen. Then once I had it calibrated, I shot shots number 4, 5, and 6, and I believe that's 4, 5, and 6. These are some other shots that I shot after I had some extra ammo to use up, and those are just some other shots that I shot afterwards. But shots number 4, 5, and 6 were perfectly placed. They were off to, as you can see here, they missed the center of the target. So this, the center here would be right in the middle of the pinwheel. So they're just off to the left and a little bit low. So this shot here, shot number 5. This was number 5. That's right on. That's right there, just a touch below the pinwheel, or the center of the pinwheel. So that looked, calibration went really easy, and everything looked good. I really enjoyed using the shot marker. I think I'm going to upload this video before I replace the cardboard with Coroplast and put my and paste my F-class target on. I'll follow up in another video. It's just almost a formality at this point. But I would like to mention a couple of other things. When I was at the range, I noticed that because I lapped these two boards, this 1x3 here was the higher of the two, created a little ledge, and that got in the way of the sensor. When I plugged it in, it kept the sensor kind of cocked. It didn't fit in there square. So all I did was just got a little pocket knife and put a little bit of relief. Just carved out a little relief so the plug would fit in it. The same thing happened on this side because I had the same lap joint right there. So I just relieved the wood a little bit so it would make room for that plug. Did not have the problem up here because the lap is on the top. So the other thing I did was when I got home, I noticed I had a little scrap 1x3. So I thought I would create an extension for the sensor hub to get it away from the sensor hub. Is velcroed on down there. This gets it away another couple of feet from the target area. So it'll be that much more insurance, that another 2 feet of insurance. So I won't end up shooting the sensor hub. The sensor hub is the most expensive part of the shot marker system. I think those are about $500 out of the $800 price for the shot marker. So we don't want to shoot those. So that's a little bit more insurance. And how that works, I got this little wing nut, or a wing bolt actually, and it's I drilled a hole all the way through, put the wing bolt through there. So it's just a regular bolt with a little wing top on it, and then you can loosen it and tighten it. And then when I'm done, I can just bring it back up in that position, tighten down on the wing bolt, and that board will stay there and it doesn't interfere. Well, that'll wrap this one up. I hope to see you in the next video.